Hello, today I'm building in Glimmerbrook. This is a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom home. It could fit a family of 6. It's located on Creekside Corner, which is a 30 by 20 lot, and it costs about 89,000 simoleons, so it's a bit pricey. And I feel a little bit off right now doing my voiceover because I took a week between uploads because I was like feeling myself like not thinking as clearly, and I just like couldn't get myself to focus or like sit down and edit. I couldn't like bring myself to like enjoy building in the moment. And so I was like, okay, you need just like a week away from uploads. Take your time with editing your video and it'll even out. And it did. It like I feel a lot better now. I just like I needed like no pressure, I guess, because I felt a lot of pressure to edit this video and like get it uploaded in time. I'm the only one pressuring myself with that, but because I like took the week, I was able to like, well, one, edit this, and like I enjoyed editing it. It wasn't like a problem. It didn't feel like a chore like it was starting to feel. And I have 2 builds that they're not done, but they're like almost done. Um there was one for my Copperdale save file, which before I took my little week like to like relax and like reset, I was like, I'm never going to make another build for the save. And I did. I It is like a line of stores, so it's a community lot with like a video rental place, like a laundromat, like a convenience store, and potentially like an arcade. It's going to be a karaoke lot type because I felt like I wanted something that was useful. And I know that I'm yapping about builds that don't have to do with this specific build, but I feel like the build that I'm currently building right now, which you're watching, it is very simple. It was like what my brain needed. I just wanted to make a fall build because I was watching my friend Vicky stream and she was doing this autumn build, I think, for our friend's shell challenge. And I was like, I need to do a fall build right now. And so that's like why I started doing this one. And I had like laid out some like objects that I wanted to use for the landscape. So when I started, I had some trees already placed and I had like this log that I was decorating with ivy and things like that. Um, when I was doing this, for some reason, every time I placed a tree down, the rendering took forever. And I don't know what was causing it on my computer. I think maybe. Oh yeah, I remember now. I had like 10 tabs open of various different Dead by Daylight videos that were like hours long because like I was going through a mix of like a lot of like educational Dead by Daylight videos and I just had them all tabbed open and it was like eating my RAM, so that was why. And then I closed them and then I no longer had the issue with the trees not rendering. But the next build too, besides the Copperdale one, that I had started, was another build I got inspired because I was watching my friend stream, but she was playing this game called Rika. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm unsure. But it's like this little witchy story game and it has like the most beautiful world and like these like beautiful autumn trees and dirt paths and it's just like I'm like this is like Salem, Massachusetts and it made me want to build a like forest farm. And so oh wait, that one is my shell challenge. So if you don't know, I have a shell challenge up on my gallery and also just on my Instagram if you want to see the rules and stuff. Hosted by me and my friend Siren Witch. So it is like we each built one house on the lot and we have specific like unique rules to follow. Like one is the sin that lives there is like a ghost. So had started that because I do want to get that shell challenge build uploaded before the due date just so that it gives people time to see it and if they want to participate too. then they have time to participate as well. But I feel like that's all I really have to say about the builds that I have that will be uploaded in the next couple of weeks, probably. I have so many ideas for like fall Halloween builds, and I like couldn't get my mind to focus on one thing at a time. But the week between uploads really was helpful, and now I could just sit here and do a voiceover for this build that I don't really remember much about while I was building it because it's been a little while now. Um, I was going to go back into this build and add items from the new kit. So two new kits came out. One was like a nursery. I don't remember the name of the kit. And one is like a painter's kit. I didn't get the painting kit because it kind of felt like, I don't know, it felt like a base game thing. I was like, these just look like base game items. It doesn't really add much to the game that like in a way that I want to buy it right away. I mean, maybe that'll change in the future. Maybe I'll buy the painting kit, who knows? But I really liked the nursery one. I loved like the gothic feel of it, like the circusy toy chest type thing. It's really, really beautiful. And I was like, this is the perfect kit for me. I love this kit. And so I was gonna go back in, I was gonna add stuff for like a baby's room in this build, but I didn't. I'll use that in another build in the future. Maybe my shell challenge one, but the shell challenge build is very, very tiny. Like I've been trying to like increase the number of bedrooms in my builds a little bit when possible. So this one being 4 bedrooms is a miracle. I like the 4th bedroom is technically that like tower type build at the top. It's very small and it definitely feels like an afterthought bedroom. Like it's not like the walls are like not wallpaper. It is like the half timber walls that are on the outside. And the window isn't even like fully closed in, so it feels like a bedroom kind of just thrown there. But I was like, listen, 3 bedrooms or I could do 4. Now that's rare for me. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna do the 4 bedrooms. One of the bedrooms has like 2 single beds in it, so it could be like shared. The rooms are very small in this build, but like you don't really need very large bedrooms in The Sims anyway. And now I'm thinking about how there's like these like Grim Reaper challenges that are giving like item rewards next week. Well, when this is uploaded, it will be this week, and maybe you're watching it after that. But it's like all more signs for me to do gameplay because I've been like itching to do gameplay, but I can like never get myself to fully commit to it. It's like that like thing where you make a family and you make the perfect sim and then you're like, okay, now I'm gonna build a house for them and it's like fits their personality, and then you like finish setting up everything for your gameplay and then you close the game and then you never go back to it. Like that's what's good, like feels like happens all the time, and I feel like it's gonna happen to me again. But I really do want to do gameplay. There's like fall is approaching, and I don't know, fall time really just makes me like want to be brought back to so many games, and like it's Sims gameplay, but I also want to get pulled back into Fortnite because it's been like months since I played Fortnite, which is like odd for me because Fortnite used to be like my peak interest and everything I would consume since the game pretty much came out. And now it's like Dead by Daylight. But then I'm like, now I want to get back into Palia too, because Palia is getting like a fall Halloween update. Like, I don't know if you know what Palia is, but I feel like if you like my sort of building style, I feel like Palia is such a nice, cozy, like open game where you just do whatever you want and there's like farming and stuff. But I had built a witchy house from that game in there. And I know that someone said that me talking about Palia made them try it out and they really liked it. And so I'm like, me now talking more about Palia because I really do think it's a game that people would enjoy. But I want to get back into it because there's like a fall update coming out and there's going to be Halloween items. And I know that when I get in like back into that game, it's going to inspire me a lot in The Sims. That's usually what happens. Like I'll play other games and then those games will inspire me to want to build something in The Sims, or even just watching it, because again, like I was watching my friend play that Witchy story game, which I'll probably never play myself, but I'll be watching her play it. And that like immediately I like couldn't think of anything else. I was like, I need to build in The Sims right now. And like the game had just updated. And so I had to like back up my saves and I had to update my game. And then like it was like a nightmare. I was so scared. I like loaded up my game, and with the new update it changed from like direct 9 to like direct 11, and it like automatically changes in your sim settings, and G Shade was not working, and I was like, does this look like another skip in this week's upload? Because I need my G Shade to work, especially if I'm taking pictures and stuff of the builds and finishing this. um and then I realized that I could just switch back to direct 9 in the game settings, and G Shade works. So if by any chance you use G Shade and you updated your game and you don't know why your G Shade's not working, it's because it's switched to direct 11 and you're gonna have to change it to direct 9, like back to it. I don't know how to fix it so it works with direct 11, but for me it didn't. And the same with like my friends who like played, and they were like, oh yeah, like I noticed that my G Shade didn't turn on automatically, and I was like, yeah, and I was freaking out. I like updated G Shade, and I was like, how is it that suddenly I cannot play a game without G Shade? um there was something else that I was gonna say, and then it completely slipped my mind. All I was gonna say, I like paused for a second, which was good because I needed to. My fan is like directly blowing right like up into my mic, and I was like, Megan, you've done like 12 minutes of a voiceover, and you didn't even like stop to see what the audio sounded like. If this is a nightmare, you're gonna be so upset, and then you're gonna have to take like a day break and not come back to the voiceover. And do you see how I'm yapping again? And I forgot once again what I was gonna say. Okay. So what I was gonna say was that I don't even remember how to do G Shade anymore. Like I had to watch a video to like walk me through it. And I feel like I would struggle because it's been years since I set up G Shade. But now we're at like my favorite part of this build. It's this little back garden area. I really like the assortment of colors back here. And like the pops of pink with the fall colors for some reason, it like I don't know why I really like it so much. Like I could not explain what it is, but I really like the pink with the yellow and the reds around. It just adds a little pop of color, and I don't usually use flowers like that, but I really like that in fall, like all of the foliage and stuff. It becomes a little bit like more dead, and like the leaves are a lot darker, and I just really love landscaping in the fall time. The main one of the big problems is that I'll like love a landscape in fall, and then you change over to like summer, and suddenly it looks horrible, and it's like the worst thing I've ever done, which is what I feel like is going to happen with my shell challenge build, because in that one I'm using these really beautiful, they're like island living red flowers, and they look so nice, like kind of dead, and like with a very like muted red instead of like the very bright red that it usually is. And I put it everywhere. Like it's like an entire field of flowers of these dead red flowers, and I know that it's going to look not so great in the summer, but that's just what it's gonna have to be. It'll have to be ugly in every other part of the year besides fall, which is probably gonna be happening often in the next month or two, probably even until December. Building in like autumn with like the red and yellow trees and stuff. I did notice that when I was doing this one, I was like, I feel like my builds are getting repetitive to me. And like they are like very different shapes, and like the landscape is very different. But I feel like I've been using the same brick wall, the same half timber walls paired together, different accents. And it's like I was looking at it and I'm like, I'm tired. I'm like, I'm tired of seeing this. I'm like, maybe other people are tired of seeing it too. But I didn't do this for my next couple of builds though, so there will be at least 2 week break between this exact sort of wallpaper. It's just like once I get attached to a certain combination, I'm like, it looks so nice together. Why would I want to do anything else? And it's like I'm using the same sort of windows, like the not the Glimmerbrook ones, but the Realm of Magic ones, the stained glass paired with like the other windows that I literally use all the time. The same with these yellow flowers. Everything just it works together so nicely. Um, but then when I was like looking, I uploaded this to the gallery today. Like it's Friday when I'm recording this. Usually I don't upload until after I like upload the video. But I was like looking at the builds that I thought were kind of similar to it, and I was like, Megan, I think you're in your own head a little bit here, because yes, you did use the same wallpapers, but I can't really notice that from first glance, and I feel like most people they're not gonna really be paying attention unless you like see this thumbnail and you're like, I feel like I've watched this already because it's the same like color palette. Well, it's not the same color palette. I'm saying that as if it's like the only different thing is the pink flowers that I added, but I feel like it's enough. And I wanted pumpkins in this build. That was like the whole point where I was watching my friend build and I was like, I need pumpkins. I need fall leaves. I didn't really put any piles of fall leaves around. I want to do that in like my one of my builds that I've been working on, where it's like this really beautiful like fall forest with like windy dirt paths and stuff. So hopefully the terrain paint doesn't get deleted, which the game loves to do. But I'll go back in and add candles to that and probably piles of fall leaves too. That won't be up for a couple of weeks though. I mean, maybe it'll be next week, so it really depends. Because I have like the two builds I'm working on and like the one community lot. It's gonna be a little bit harder for me to do because it's not like my usual style. And like I had to like use different items. It's a lot of sorting, which then is a lot of editing because there's so much sorting. But now we're finally inside of the house, and you can see me trying to work out the floor plan of the build. See, I was like yapping over the whole exterior. It didn't feel very important. Um, but I remember like really trying to get enough bedrooms into this build. And so you could see me trying to figure out how to do a hallway because for some reason hallways feel very difficult for me to do in The Sims. It feels like unnatural for me to create like a hallway leading down to different bedrooms. And it's like always a little bit of a struggle. But it looks simple now that I had just done it. And like, yeah, I'm making that room a little bit bigger and I like made that hallway. So it's like it feels like a scary dark hallway, but it's okay. I'm sure the house is haunted, but the people who live here, they don't really mind anyway. And down here, the room off to the right is going to end up being the dining room. The room to the left front is going to be the bathroom. Behind that's the living room, and all the way to the back is the kitchen. And then there's just like a large entry hallway leading into each of the other parts of the house. And then the top one is another bedroom, which I was originally going to make like a witchy cauldron room. And then I decided against it. I was like, no, I'm going to make this a bedroom. So this house isn't for spellcasters, but it could be if you want it. I'm sure that a cauldron would look really beautiful in the back garden area, which is like my favorite part of the build. There's not really any objects back there. It's just like a dirt path and some flowers. So a cauldron would be like a perfect thing to add back there if you want to like do a cult gameplay or something, or even just like a barbecue and maybe like an easel. I always forget to put hobby items sometimes when I feel like the outside space is like the perfect time to put a hobby object in, and then your Sims will just be either freezing or very hot because of seasons. But yeah, this is the kitchen now, and the kitchen has a much lighter color palette from the rest of the house, which you'll see while it's like going on. And I didn't really like it at first, but I kept it because I like the kitchen on its own. But when I compare it to the rest of the downstairs, it does feel a lot brighter. But maybe they just want like a nice bright kitchen and like that feels the best for them. But then the rest of the house, they want it to be very dark and cozy and relaxing. And I did like add some like fall baking supplies in this kitchen. I know that in my like apartment build that I had decorated, I was like, this is gonna be for a baker. And then I didn't actually do that. And then so I was like, this is my chance to do a kitchen for a baker. And it probably isn't a whole lot, but like the island ends up having some baking supplies on it. I decided to try and like make a cabinet using that like china cabinet and just like placing it into the counter just because I wanted to try something different. Maybe it doesn't like work perfectly, but I felt like I was like, okay, they found this like antique cabinet and they didn't really know where to put it. And so they're like, oh, let's just like put it in the kitchen. And I feel like I like the look of things kind of just thrown in like over time where they're like making things their own. But you can see that the backsplash, like I really like the tile and the color in the tiles, like the blues and the like specific shades, and it's very toned down. But the like white wall at the top makes us feel way too bright in the kitchen, but I loved the tile too much and I didn't think that there was another swatch where it wasn't white at the top. But like I was like, okay, do you want the tile or do you want something darker? And I like really wanted the tiles, so I went with that. I think that one is from the like one of the latest stuff packs that I didn't buy for a long time, and I literally only bought because I liked the recipe book. I think it was that. I also put a pumpkin here because I was like, maybe they were carving a pumpkin, and like that's just they have the pumpkin there with the guts spilling out, and there's some mail that they've got to be careful about because it'll get dirty very quickly. But yeah, those are little baking supplies, like a little tin that maybe has some like some sugar in it or something, and like cute little bat decorations. I would like to do like, oh, it would be so cute to do like a fall bakery. Do Am I gonna remember that? I do want to do that. I want to do like a cute little fall bakery. I think that would be really nice. I'm wondering if I could somehow make that in my Copperdale, like maybe like in the like my Copperdale save in the foresty area, maybe doing like a very old style house. And they maybe run a bakery out of their home, and like it'll be like an outdoor cafe sort of thing. I don't know. I'm just brainstorming here because I'm like I have all these ideas for builds, but I don't want to like completely neglect my save file that I want to make progress on. And so I'm like, if I can somehow incorporate these ideas into that save and like build a story around that sort of thing, it'll it'll be easier for me because then I'm like, okay, I can combine things and I'll feel more productive. But I think that's an easy thing to do. Could like imagine like a like old lady running a cute little bakery in her really old house that's haunted, and maybe the ghosts I was like maybe the ghosts like help her bake or something. They just like baking with her. Like I don't know why, but it is haunted Copperdale, so I feel like ghosts have to be involved somehow. And so far, I haven't really developed a story for that yet. So I need to like start thinking about that too because I will also be making Sims for the save file. I haven't done any residential houses yet, so there's no Sims involved as of right now. But there's just a bunch of different commercial lots, which I'll make Sims that fit into that sort of story anyway. But this is now the dining room for this build, and I'm putting plants on the floor out of laziness because I was like, I feel like that's an easy way to clutter the space, and I was going to use that like hanging ivy thing to create like a centerpiece in the middle of the table, but I thought that it was like close it off a little bit too much. It was like too large. And I'm sure like maybe if I like spent some time and I sized it down really small and I stacked some of them, it would have worked. But that could be like a nice thing for like a dining commercial lot, like a cafe, having that sort of partition with the ivy in between the like chairs to split up the table into two sections. That would probably be better. I didn't think it worked for the sort of like family autumn home. I did keep most of the decorations in this room pretty simple. I do make like a little wall over here with just a couple of paintings. Um, that new painting to the left is from Love Struck, and usually I use like the blue one because it looks like a ghost girl, but I really liked the look of that one next to the map and just like everything about that room. I was like, I feel like this lady needs to be in this room. And like I really like having a lot of stained glass because it makes me feel like I don't have to put a whole lot on the walls in the room because it feels like a focal point of the room. And the same thing with this bathroom over here. I just like pulled out my usual stuff. I was using like different sorts of rugs than usual. I did that in the dining room too. Like if you had seen the rug that I used, I've never used that swatch before, but for some reason I felt like it worked. And I did pick out some of the rugs before I like decorated some of these rooms, and then this like other red rug here. Because I guess I was using a lot of red accents, and that's probably because of the red accents in the stained glass. And here, once again, I'm putting clutter on the floor. And it's because of laziness. It's because I don't want to put a shelf on the wall and then raise up all the objects. But sometimes when you do that and you have the walls down, it just looks like floating clutter. So I feel like it works out for the best anyway that all the clutter is on the floor of the bathroom. It would get dusty and dirty very quickly, unless they're like dusting their candles all the time. But maybe I'm just gross because in my room, like if I have candles just sitting somewhere, because I don't like candles very often. And if they don't have lids on them, they're just going to be covered in dust because I'm not thinking to, like, oh, I need to go clean those candles over there. They're just going to be full of dust instead. And then this is the living room. I think I changed the couch. I don't remember. I do like the white couch. I feel like it like pops nicely in the room. That's very dark. A lot of wood furniture as always. I use like two different wood walls throughout. Like I have one that has more detailing in the bathroom, and then I have this other one that's a little bit more simple. And then I kind of use the same wallpaper in all of the like downstairs, and then upstairs I use different wallpaper for each bedroom because I was like, Megan, try and use some different wallpaper at least for these bedrooms. And I put a little painting thing down here which looks really nice. And now I'm like, because before I was like, I'm not gonna get the painting kit. And I still do feel like the painting kit, it looks very base game, which I'm like, yeah, kits are supposed to be expansions of base game, but like I haven't, like, to be fair, I haven't looked very like much into the items in the painting kit, where like the nursery one I did because I was so excited about it. But for the painting one, I didn't really look to see what kind of items it comes with. And maybe there are some unique items, but to me, I was like, I look at that and I'm like, this could have been, you know, a free update. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like begging for free content. Um, and the other kit was just so good. But that's because the other kit, um, a CC creator worked on it. And so I like a CC creator works on a kit, it's going to be amazing. And I know that like I've seen a lot of their like work and stuff. And I'm always like sad because I'm like, I don't play with CC, but their pack, like their CC packs look so good. And I'm like, am I gonna become someone who uses CC? No, not really. But I really did like their CC, so I'm glad that I could have at least some of their style and creations in my game through a kit, which is really nice. And because I'm talking about the new content and stuff, I know that there was that Life and Death expansion pack that's going to be coming out. I don't know if they gave a release date or not, but I'm like really excited to see whenever the trailer comes out. I'm like hoping for tarot cards. I would be like so happy. I'd have them in all of my builds. And if like they have some really good tarot gameplay, that'll be like, I will be pulled right back into gameplay. Like I've been saying, I'm like, I want to do gameplay, but like a Life and Death expansion pack, it's like it feels like my exact sort of pack, and I'd be so excited. And like I'm really, really hoping it's really good and thought out. And I hope that there is like a really beautiful world that's like foresty, which I know that we have some like that, but as someone who only really builds forest homes, I don't have a whole lot of variety of where I build my homes. There's like Glimmerbrook, Moonwood Mill, some lots in Henford, some lots in Windenburg, and like one or two lots in Copperdale. Um, so I would really like another, like a larger Glimmerbrook sort of world. Because, yeah, we have like these forest worlds, but they're not very big. They only have like 5 lots or so because they came with game packs. But if we get one in an expansion pack, that would be amazing. And I would like for sure do a save file of that world. Um, I'm saying this, we don't know what this is going to be. We don't even know what the pack is going to be, but I'm hoping for a really beautiful, large, um, like witchy, foresty world that has like a really beautiful like stream going through it. It would be like so pretty. I'm like thinking of like Granite Falls, but like a lot more like thought out and like more magical elements to it. That would be really nice. Like a graveyard in the middle of the woods would be really cool. I'm imagining the world in my head and I'm like, Megan, lower your expectations. You're gonna be very disappointed. But I can't help it. I'm like so excited. And like I don't know. I feel like if they're gonna do that, it would probably be out around Halloween, would it not? I'd have to like look and see when everything is planned because I had seen that like preview where like they flipped the tarot cards over and like I know that one of the like sim gurus who I really like worked on it, and if they're working on the pack, I know it's going to be amazing because um there's someone who worked on the werewolf items, which some of my favorite items. So like if I whenever I see their Twitter account connect it with a pack coming out, I'm like, this one is going to be amazing. I'm ready for it. But now we're upstairs into this bedroom. Um, I was using different wallpaper, like I said before, and I really like the color palette in here. I like that like rich green with the like creamy like orange paired with the deep red. I feel like it just screams autumn and it like paired really nicely with some of these other accents in the room, like that plant that's on the floor and the plant that's hanging from the wall above the mirror. It like all feels like it goes together. Even like the red on the scarf in the coat rack I really enjoy. And like the bedroom doesn't have a lot in it, but it feels like it does because the wallpaper is a little bit busier. And in here I used some like yellow with the brown wood at the bottom. Um just because I was like, okay, this looks like it works. And yeah, I do keep that bed spread too. I was like, let me try out some different beds that I don't normally use. And this bed has browns and yellows and like reddish, orangey colors and some like green. And it felt very autumn as well. And I made this one a kid's bedroom. So I was like, I might as well. The other bedroom couldn't really fit a lot in it because I had 2 beds in there. So I was like, okay, I could do a kid's room in here. And then I really like the start of the parents' bedroom. But I didn't put a lot into it. Like when I was doing the parents' bedroom, I had like this picture in my head of like this large cabinet or like bookcase, and it's like completely framing like a bench underneath the stained glass window. And that's what I did, but I feel like it could have used some more clutter in the other parts of the room. It doesn't have a lot going on, but I was like, I don't want to clutter anymore. So this is what we're getting here. And like I ran out of ideas because all I was focused on was this one specific wall. And you can see I'm like pulling out things because I'm like, how am I gonna frame this and like make it look good? And at this point, I don't even remember what it looked like. I feel like I keep that bookcase and I add like a kitchen cabinet from like floor to ceiling on the other side. Do I keep that? I guess we'll see. Because okay, I was like gonna say I'm like the balance feels slightly off, but if I put that other bookcase up there, it is fine. And then I add some shelves off to the right because there's that empty space. But yeah, I imagine like someone sitting at this window reading a book and they have their tea over here with a candle and like maybe it's raining outside. Like that sort of vibe, and I really liked that. And then I have the two little shelves, which I do put some clutter on the shelving too. I hope I put a rug in here. Yeah, okay. I was gonna say, I'm like, there better be a rug because I feel like we need a rug in this room. And I just use a very basic one I always use. I don't even remember what pack that's from, but that's one of my favorite rugs. It's just like a brown fluffy rug, and there's a fireplace off to the side that will probably catch on fire, so be careful. Once again, you'll need to add smoke detectors in the builds because I never add it. One day I'll stop being stubborn and I'll add them. And yeah, I really liked the statue of the like girl with the wings sized down. And I was like, I never really used that statue very much. And it reminds me of my friend, Molly, who I remember doing a build and she had like two of those in a window, like framing, like I don't even know how to describe it. But it was like in an attic, and I remember her placing two of them with like candles around. And so every time I see that, I think about that very specific room in her build. And I had used that in my like witchy apartment build too. And I thought the same thing. So I guess that's just Molly's statue now, which I also said that about a tree recently. I've been like occasionally streaming on Twitch. And like I started another fall build that I haven't finished yet. I still need to furnish it. I was going to stream this week and then I didn't. That was that. I was gonna stream, I think, yesterday, and something stopped me. I don't remember what it was, but I just didn't feel like streaming, and so I didn't. And but I am going to end up either finishing that interior on a stream, or I was considering just recording me doing the interior and doing an interior only video using that build instead of like decorating the interior on stream. That was also an idea I had, but because I have so many builds that I'm wanting to do, I'm like unsure. But like maybe if I'm in the mood to just decorate an interior and not be like present on stream, that's what I'll do. But yeah, I talked over the whole rest of the video as always. But here are some of the screenshots now, and you can see like I really like the living room. It feels very warm, and like there's a lot more clutter and intention I feel like in that room, where like some of the bedrooms are a little barren, but that's okay too. I really like the upstairs room. Yeah, I like this picture a lot. It's very simple, but I really liked it a lot. But yeah, that's the entire video. I'll like most likely have a video next week. Because I'm almost done with those builds anyway. I need to wrap this up. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye.